nice cup of coffee.
Cup of coffee.
It's been an odd day.
Yeah.
We're recording this on 11/26/2023. And it's been odd. And I will say I'm very, very grateful to our buddy Omega. He tries to take care of us.
Mm-hmm. He does.
He really does. And
He
he
tries-
was up here for a long time.
He tries to teach me stuff.
Yeah. He had plugged one of the tires because we had picked up a, what was it?
It was a screw. It was not just anything.
A masonry screw.
Yeah.
And as far as oil in the car, because of all the things that I know and do and different things like that, for some reason that car maintenance, I forget.
I think everybody does. That's not, if they're not inherently a car person, then nobody just thinks about that.
Right. But he was up here for quite a while
He was.
this evening and stuff, and just grateful.
Taught me how to plug a tire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which it's not, I mean, getting the thing in is difficult, and that's about the only difficult thing is.
Right. Yeah, but we're just really grateful, and
Yeah.
God love him. He, like I said, he tries to take care of us, and Mom also, and that bunch that's there at her house,
Mm-hmm.
as much as he can. So say a prayer for him, and just,
Yes.
because he's got some health issues that always concern us.
Yeah, please pray for him.
And we have cats who have colds.
Literally, they all are sick almost. They got the coof.
Yeah. Sneezing, coughing, runny noses, watery eyes. God love them.
I remember when the panoramic
feel not good.
when the panoramic was like huge in 2020 and 2021, people said that animals like your house pets could catch it too. It's just like,
No.
it's a cold.
We figured out after we got to thinking about it, and it's what happened was when we took Milo to the vet, that was the only time that he had been around other animals or any place where stranger animals had been.
Yeah, he doesn't go.
And it was a few days after that he was the first one that started exhibiting symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And it's, but the thing is, he's on antibiotics. How do you get sick on antibiotics?
because a virus is not, that's what antibiotics are for bacteria, they're not for viruses.
How come there's no antibiotics for viruses?
Well, that would be an
Is it just
antiviral.
because they don't know how they work?
Viruses are a totally different thing than a bacteria. Yeah.
But there has to be medicine for viruses.
Well, they claim there are. I'm just going to leave it there. They claim there are. Time is one of the things. Rest. Proper nutrition and stuff like that. And the body does what it does.
Define proper nutrition.
Well, that's where you don't, when you have that type of something, you do not want to be consuming things that are going to make more mucus. Because that's going to make the coughing worse. It's going to make the runny nose worse.
Like
all that
sodas,
stuff.
candies, bread,
Yeah,
stuff
sugar
like that.
definitely will contribute to that. Dairy products, orange juice, different things like that. Any of the sugars will, yeah. That's why a chicken soup. And maybe I need to make chicken soup for the cats.
Maybe.
They would appreciate it.
They would. Chicken soup is healing.
Because,
For all,
yeah.
all things.
Sure. Well, you think about it, and my chicken soup, lots of onions, lots of garlics, because onions and garlics have sulfur in them, and it kills germs.
I saw someone make chicken soup, but they didn't make chicken soup with chicken.
What?
Yeah, they used bouillon cubes.
Oh God,
That ain't chicken. That ain't chicken. That's a bouillon cube. You're making bouillon soup.
Oh, it's one of those like they wave the chicken over it.
Literally, they wave the chicken over it, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, that's not chicken soup.
That ain't chicken.
And actually,
That's like the banana pudding with no bananas. Then it's not
That's-
banana pudding. It's
no.
just banana flavored pudding.
right. And actually, if you get the skin of the chicken, when I was working at the health food store, at some point I did research and learn all these things. So don't ask me for a reference because I don't know where the hell that would be at this point in my life. but that the skin of the chicken has natural antibiotic properties, which we're talking about virals, but it's got healing properties to it. So a lot of times when they throw away the skin of the chickens and stuff like that, they're getting rid a lot of the good stuff.
What about gumbo? Italian wedding soup. Is those sick soups?
That's just tasty. But you want to do more liquids because that helps the body. It just keeps everything flowing.
Not soda, not any sugar water.
No.
Just water.
Well, you don't have to do just water, but it's one of the things that you can do, different herbal teas, different things like that are soothing and comforting. There's a whole world of teas out there.
I miss my mangosteen tea. After all these years, I still miss it.
Well, they were over harvesting or something like that, or it had to do with the import thing on it or something.
Import stuff and over harvesting was the issue.
Because
everybody loves the mangosteens.
Why don't they grow more of it?
You ask me. You ask me that. I don't got answers for you.
I mean, wouldn't it make sense that if you have a product that people like, you would make more of it? Of course, sometimes they want to do the scarcity thing so that they can charge more for it. Mm-hmm. That's what happens with diamonds. Diamonds are not rare.
They for real, they aren't.
And it was one of those.
It's a big scam.
It was, and that was the
Still
jewelers,
is.
Whatever it was. Anything has value only if you think of it as being valuable.
So, like those name brands?
Yeah.
Like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Supreme. Right. Supreme was the stupidest luxury brand ever
These are
made.
Fashion victims. They are.
Like, having money does not give you style.
No.
And a lot of the time, those rich people, that what their style is, tacky, gaudy. It's too much. And then you got the opposite side of the rich people, which is the minimalists. The Kardashians, their house, it's not homey. It feels cold. Like, if you just look at that house, you can tell, by the way, it just feels cold.
I'm so far removed from pop culture at this point in my life that it's not even.
It gets shoved down my throat.
And it's just like, I've never understood why somebody, it's a status symbol. It's saying, I have money to have this thing. You don't have money, so therefore you can't have this thing. And I'm like, if I had the money, I wouldn't spend it on that thing.
Right. It's like, what it is basically for them, I have money. Fuck you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's stuff of the world. And at this point in my life, I've been taken down a journey and a path that what is truly important. And everybody has to go through that journey. Well, not everybody. Some people, they people of the world, and that's it.
What is truly important? Family. Mm-hmm. Just simply having a home. Mm-hmm. Heat.
Right. Basics.
Yeah. Food.
Integrity. How about that?
That's a large thing.
Yeah. And that takes us to the main topic of today, which was and is the movie Nefarious. And when I had looked at this a couple of months ago, found out about it, and I thought, I really need to watch that at some point. And I had gone on the website and everything, and as far as the DVD, it was $30, and it was just like, ugh. And so yesterday, all day, it was sort of like, do it now, and I'm like, And so it's
like, all right, I'll watch it.
Right. And so I went, the movie was available for purchase on YouTube. And because before it was not available, it is now available on Amazon, and you can get the DVD. I did order the DVD. I'm not even mad that I paid twice on YouTube what I would have paid on Amazon had I ordered it off of Amazon.
No, because you said that it was a really good movie.
It is a life-altering movie. It's not just a movie.
Yeah, no,
it's
showing the reality of possession.
Right.
And how it shows in some, what is it? In inmates?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like off of IMDb. I have to do that because the dyslexia. I'll come up with something really weird.
IMDb.
And there was somebody named
IMDb.
Frank Lisenborg who had written a synopsis. It says, a notorious serial killer, Edward Bradley, is facing execution at 11 p.m. Dr. James Martin is brought in to replace Dr. Alan Fisher, who had committed suicide after interviewing Edward. Edward's fate now depends on Martin's diagnosis. If Martin decides that Edward is sane, he will be executed. But if he declares him to be insane, Edward will be spared. Edward claims that he is possessed by a demon called Nefarious. And also says that Martin will commit 3 murders by the day's end. And Nefarious, which was Greek or something like that, or some other something, and so they just shortened it to Nefarious, and I'm grateful that they did. Martin initially dismisses Edward's claims, but the demon's knowledge of Martin's life proves uncannily and disturbingly accurate, and Martin's skepticism begins to fade. The weight of Nefarious's claims both frighten him and fill him with self-doubts. With Edward's fate hanging in the balance, Martin must make a fateful decision based on his professional diagnosis while grappling with his personal feelings of fear and disgust in the conflict of interest they create. Now, this stars Sean Patrick Flannery. He was what Omega. I was showing him the trailer from YouTube, and he's like, "Oh, hey, that's dude." And I had no clue because I wasn't familiar with the actor.
Yeah.
And also Jordan, I think it's Belfi. It's Belfi.
Belfi.
Those are the
Belfry.
two. Those are the 2 main characters, and Sean Patrick Flannery is the one that plays Nefarious, and Belfi plays the psychiatrist, and then you've got Tom Omer that's in there, and he is the prison warden. Now, this is not a lightweight movie. It's under the horror and suspense category, and rightfully so. This is unlike most horror movies out there.
You said that during the production of the movie they had some shit happen to them.
They did. I have watched quite a few videos since I first became aware of the movie. Just different ones, looking about what had happened. This was a movie that was not based on a quote unquote true whatever it was. Mm-hmm. This was a movie the devil didn't want made. They had an actual priest on set that he had to do an exorcism on one of the buildings. Stuff stopped working.
For real?
Yes. Brand new stuff would stop working.
Oh, shit.
And they were talking about when they were writing this. I don't want to use the word channeling, but it was like the words just flowed. If you've never experienced that type of automatic writing, I'm using words that I have. They may not be accurate, but it's like you're the vessel and it's flowing through
that's automatic
you.
Writing. That's a spiritual something.
It is a spiritual something. And Sean Patrick Flannery, I don't know that there is anybody else that could have played the role of Nefarious any better than this man did. Just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about even on part of it, they used a prison setting. It was a real prison. And that when they wanted to do
That's
this.
a lot of bad energy in there
Yeah.
already.
Yeah. That they thought there's no way that they will allow them to come in and film anything in this. And they said, well, all we can do is ask. So they asked, and it happened. A way was made for them to go in there. Now, I don't want to...
That's
this
God
is
right
going
there.
to contain some spoilers, and I don't want to spoil it because youngest kid has not seen it yet.
Do you want me to go out of the room?
No. But it's one of those that, I can't discuss it without telling you a little bit of the things that happened in
That's
there.
fine.
The character of Edward that was possessed by Nefarious had supposedly killed people. And so them going through the psychiatry part of it, it's like, as far as dissociative identity disorder, and they went through all that stuff, and was it this, was it that, they had ruled it out, and the switch between Edward and Nefarious speaks, and it was one of the times that he had allowed Edward to speak, Edward was like, he owns me. And he did.
How did he own him, though?
It tells that in the movie. It goes through there and it explains how Edward became possessed. And some of this stuff was really, it hit home to us and our family. And it was just amazing. Now, they deal with some hard subjects in there. And it's brutal because it is honest. It's to the point. And it just, and I was glad the kid was not in the room, because as far as the execution of Edward, and that just, I just sit here and cried. Because
it wasn't Edward's
humanity of it.
Yeah.
The demon, the whole point was to make this person suffer. That's what demons do. And it explains that also, that their purpose, because they hate humans. It's the same thing that we have. A lot of it was validation for me, because it was the same thing that I had been saying for years, but had not heard anybody else say it in the same way. Mm-hmm. These beings can't get at God. But what they do is hurt him by hurting humans, because God loves humans. He created, we're his children.
Yep.
Yeah. And so it is intent. It is not preachy.
No.
It is not preachy at all. Even at the end of it and stuff, and it was really sad. I was going through today looking different just YouTube things, because I do that. And that there was a video that someone had made where they were explaining the end. And I thought, oh, Jesus Christ, help us, please. And I'm not. That is a true prayer. Because if somebody watches this and they don't understand the ending, then that means that the demon has done a good job.
Was there any hope for the person in the movie? Did a priest ever come in, help him?
I would rather not say that, because that is a spoiler.
You could tell me after it.
Yeah, I'll continue afterwards, but I want people to watch this. And because it is so pertinent to us and our family, and most of y'all have heard me talk about husband one way or the other over the years. And when I was explaining to him about this movie, he's like, I got bells going off. And I'm like, yeah. And so the program that he's in right now, I'm hoping that he's going to talk to the program director and see if they would allow me to mail a copy of the movie to this gentleman. And so, because this is something, Every inmate needs to watch this. Every person needs to watch this.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone will understand it or accept it.
No, you have to have some understanding beforehand to watch this movie.
But you can go even on the they're on YouTube, the page where you can purchase the movie.
Uh-huh.
The comments. Yeah. And this is one that you've got a lot of people on, what is it, Rotten Tomatoes or whatever it is,
Rotten
that they
Tomatoes.
hated it.
They can shove it because it was not a bad movie from what I've heard.
A lot of times the Rotten Tomatoes people, the ones that they're loving, that's part of the enemy's agenda. They discuss some of that too.
I mean, I walked in just for one scene and I was like, oh shit.
It's intense.
Yeah. It's not a bad movie in the slightest.
Oh no, it's not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie. Most of it is just the discussion, what is said, how it's being said, and it's just real. You can feel it.
You can.
This is not like The Exorcist.
And that's why I'm a little sensitive right now. I can't watch it.
Yeah, I think it's best. I really think that's best that you when you can, it's there.
I mean, I definitely, it's not a no. It's
Right.
not a no as far as watching it for
Right.
me. It's just right now ain't the best time.
Right. I get it. But it's like everybody has seen people who are possessed, that are oppressed. There's different levels, as far as unclean spirits, how they can torment people. And it's like when you see people walking around and you can look at them in the eyes and there's just deadness, there's a problem.
Yeah.
And it's like where I have worked with people that had mental health problems, some of these people, I'm like, I've questioned before, is there some kind of an unclean spirit influencing this person?
Usually if you got that, if that thought comes to mind, more often than not, it's correct.
Even as far as inmates, my God. And you got the inmates and the mental health thing that goes hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Prisons are modern day asylums.
They are.
And it's like,
scary
I have,
shit.
that was just like recently to finally hit the news, because most people don't want to think about the prison population. And I'm not going to go on a soapbox, I promise. Because these are the undesirables. They're the untouchables. They're the ones that people want to put away. They don't want to think about them. They want to other them until it's your people. Yeah? And it's
Yep.
like, how did person get from point A to point B? And when you sit and you talk with these people, when you listen to them and you hear the brokenness and you can trace back the series of bad decisions, then you have understanding. Then you have empathy. Most people don't want to have empathy for these people, because if they have empathy, then it may feel like they have to do something.
Mm-hmm. And they don't want to do anything.
But that's just like one of the recent news stories that hit was a young man that he was, I don't know, in there on some kind of drug charges or something like that. And because they mix classifications, that means that they mix non-violent offenders with violent offenders, which is something we never did in our local regional jail, because you don't. It's stupid.
It is.
That this young man had like 2 weeks left to serve and wound up dead in a horrific way. Horrific. And the warden lied about it, because it happens time and time and time again.
What happened to the warden after he got caught
Nothing.
lying? Nothing?
Nothing yet. So this is why.
Blast his ass online. Blast
Exactly.
his ass on social media. That is the good thing about social media, is
Yes.
because you can put these people right up there on blast.
Yes.
And it works.
Yeah.
Usually it
does.
works.
And it's like, some of these people that were covering the story, some of the news people that I do, I asked the simple question, which was, why are the people that work in corrections in the corrections industry, because it is an industry, why are they not required to wear body cams with audio like road officers? Now, when the road officers, since they started doing that stuff, there's been a lot of stuff brought to light.
Mm-hmm. And they can't just turn it off and be like, oh, sorry, it wasn't working. Because that shit doesn't work like that now.
Because right now, the prison population, they're behind these wardens. It's their own private kingdoms, and they can do whatever they want to.
Mm-hmm.
Because most people don't care, because they're ignorant. They want to remain ignorant because they think that somehow absolves them of any culpability. It doesn't. It's the sin of omission.
It is. It is.
But you never know. And for years, I have been asking that question.
What does an officer do when they see someone beating up on another person? What do they do? What are they supposed to do in that situation?
They're supposed to report it.
They can't restrain them in that moment? Nothing like that?
If it's a fellow officer?
Like if it's an inmate.
Oh, if it's an inmate beating up on somebody else, that's a code. You absolutely call that. And you call that, and as far as that fight, you get other officers in there. And to break the fight up, find out who started it, and that's where you go through the cameras and different things like that. But I can't tell you how many times I have heard of officers just absolutely abusing the hell out of inmates. And you've got that code of silence, which means that the good officers don't say anything.
Fuck that. If I was an officer, I would be one of the good ones, and that means reporting the bad ones.
Uh-huh.
Left and right, as it needs.
But if you report them, that's like years ago when I tried to report it. This was in 2013. I went to the Bristol Herald Courier in Bristol, Virginia/Tennessee. I explained what was going on. And you know what the reporter told me? He said, I'll run it by our editor. And later he said, they won't let me run the story because no one cares. That's how, as far as Sharon Rondeau, in her little publication online, that inmates can get in touch with her and report some of the abuses. Now, you talk about a dark, dark subject. My God, people can't even imagine. But anyhow,
how did Martha Stewart make it through?
Martha Stewart was in a federal penitentiary. Sorry, folks.
Because I mean, like if she was put in one, just a regular one, like she wouldn't have made it either. She was not probably in there with the quote unquote general population. Probably she was too high profile. If something had happened to her, then those are the people that when it's a big name somebody, usually it doesn't. Then people sort of do the prairie dog thing and poke up their heads and pay attention for like not even a half of a second. Yeah.
But if it's just, the faceless and nameless forgotten ones, they don't care.
No.
Because we have become very callous. And the movie Nefarious discusses that also. Yeah. It's hardcore. It's hardcore. Kid and I use humor because
we do.
We've been through, we've done some stuff.
We need humor.
Yeah, it's important. It's valuable. But this movie is valuable. Now there's people that, like I said, they want to just sit there and close their eyes and plug their ears and la la la, I can't hear you. That doesn't stop this stuff from happening.
Mm-mm.
Now, there's a lot of things that's going on that we can't do anything about, but some of these things we can do something about.
Mm-hmm. Hey, any of y'all that actually do the social medias, how about y'all blast some of this shit on there? For real.
Yeah.
blast the wrongdoings that people do.
Sure. There's lots of groups out there as far as prison reform.
It needs to
But
be
you've
done.
got a lot of people as far as these prison lobbyists and stuff. No.
There's a special place in hell for those
Sure
people.
there is. Sure there is. And I fought it for so many years and just hardcore for 5 years. And that's, yeah, hardcore every day. And then it was one of those that sort of, you do sacrifice yourself in different ways. And you pick which hill you're going to die on.
Yeah.
And it's one of those, did the result, was it how I wanted it to be? No.
But
That
you
doesn't
did something.
mean that doesn't mean that it's not how God wanted it to be.
No, because what you did, that plants seeds.
Yeah,
That's all that he asks.
absolutely. And it's
something
like,
something as small as that, and it wasn't small, because that's a big thing.
well, the governor of Tennessee, as far as they knew my name.
Yeah. Hold these governors, these people who are over this shit, hold them accountable.
When you have somebody that comes back in your community, make sure that they have what they need so that they can succeed.
Take care of them.
Because when you've got the modern day scarlet letter is not an A, it's an F for felon. That once somebody is labeled a felon, that they take that to the grave with them and beyond. Why is that?
Right.
There's no one on this planet without sin. We just haven't gotten caught.
Exactly. It's not up to us to
Right.
serve that sort of justice a lot of the time. It's not up to us to say whether or not,
Right,
someone is a felon forever.
right. I mean, if you've got somebody that goes in and murders people, and that's
different.
With Nefarious, with the character of Edward.
That's possession right there.
It was, and it's even as far as capital punishment, it goes into that. Now, there's some people that I'm like, oh, wood chipper feet first if they hurt a child. But it made me have to rethink that, because was that person did that, or was it some kind of a demonic force driving someone to do that? I sit here and just boo-hooed.
Now, there are some... I heard from somewhere, there are some human shells that are put on this earth for the specific purpose to look human and to act human for the most part, but their soul is not human. It's for those entities.
I don't know. We don't know. There's so much we don't know.
But those children that were abused, that's not the case for them. That is not the case for them.
No. But it is hardcore, and it's needed for a time such as this, because we are in hardcore times. And being ignorant of the devices of the enemy is not an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just, sometimes it's almost like we're primitive people throwing rocks at the eclipse or something.
In a way, that's what it's like.
Banging pots and pans.
In a lot of ways, that's what it's like.
That's what it feels
because
like.
we have fallen from God, and that's what's sort of, made us feel like we're banging rocks against steel.
Yeah. So, and I know this was a bitter cup for a Monday, but, like I said, time is short. Time is short.
It is short. It is shorter than we think.
Yep.
Yeshua, please help us.
Yeah.
God help
every day.
us.
Final thoughts, kid?
God help us.
Yeah.
Help everyone.
Yeah.
You hear us, God?
It's hard to pray for those that have wronged you.
It is.
But that is what we're supposed to do, is to pray for those who hate us. Not the demons, but the people that are trapped by the demons.
Mm-hmm.
That they don't even know they're possessed. They don't even know what they're doing. Why they're doing what they're doing.
Yep.
So, if you've had experiences with paranormal, supernatural encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, you can send us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream at gmail.com. And I've got some references for you on about Nefarious. I'll give you the IMDb. See, about did it. Dyslexia, it's real. I'm also going to give you the website, which is Who is Nefarious?
Mm-hmm.
And when I had looked at it, I thought that was interesting that now it's available on Amazon. And I'll even put the link to Amazon where you can purchase the DVD. And I'll go back and put the YouTube link where you can purchase it from there. Like I said, some of the best money I have spent in a long time.
Well, I'm definitely going to be watching it at some point. It's just until I'm not as sensitive.
Yeah.
So, do you want me to do my spiel? If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe. Even if you didn't like the video, we have other videos that you will like.
Yeah, wait 5 minutes over on BitChute and they'll re-upload something I've uploaded in the past. I don't know what's going on with that, but it's
Right?
weird. It's weird.
But like, share, comment, all that stuff. Click the notification bell if you're on YouTube. But click that subscribe button. Interact with the video, please. It boosts our viewership.
We can go from 3 to 5.
Interact with it. Huh?
We could go from 3 to 5.
Yeah. We could go from 5 to 10.
That'd be all right.
And from 10 to 20.
That'd be all right. I feel like, seriously, I've always felt that God will put whoever he wants here with us.
Whatever is meant for us will find us.
And be content with it.
Mm-hmm.
And those of you who take the time to share coffee and thoughts with us, you are very loved.
Yes.
And Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cut.